What's happening, PGA DFS fans? Thanks for joining me on another one of my Stokastic short form videos here. This is the top 5 sleepers for the Travelers Championship, as it may not be a major, but $250,000 to be won over on DraftKings and plenty of props to choose from over on Prize Picks, the sponsor of this short form video. So let's go ahead and jump right into my top 5 sleepers here this week. Also, make sure you like and subscribe here to our channel. That's how you get notified when these videos come on air. Also, when our live shows come on the air as well. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. Okay, let's talk about Danny Willett. He's going to start off our sleepers to begin. Coming off of decent recent form, coming in 28th at the RBC Canadian Open, a course that I think will do very well here this week as a comp course, the TPC River Highlands. And for Willett, well, he's starting to play good. When we look at his strokes gained ranks, 114th off the tee, 156 around on the approach, 7th around the green, and 150th putting. Those stats are continually coming up as the year marches on. Now, he did miss the cut here a couple of years ago, but nonetheless, coming in at just 1% owned, packed around a couple of golfers that will be highly owned. I like Danny Willett as a good pivot. All right, now we'll move on to our second golfer here. It's a guy that was just $8,000 not too long ago and much higher owned. But now in a range with, say, Maverick McNeely and a few other higher owned golfers, Jhonattan Vegas is going to come in really low on this week. He's just $7,500. Has a top 30 here 2 years ago. Is also working off some decent form. I always like to play golfers that are maybe overly chalky a week or two before, that don't perform as well as people think they should, and now go into them when they're a lower price and a lower ownership. So just finishing on Vegas here, he looks to be coming under 5% owned. Checking in his strokes gain ranks this year too, it's pretty good. 33rd off the tee, 22nd on the approach, around the green and on the green, maybe a bit of a struggle, 157 or 148. But a good event here for Vegas to bounce back here this week. Now, for these last 3, I have a theme going with these last 3 and why we should take them. Start off with Webb Simpson, 8,400. Missed the cut on the number last week, 4 over. But I urge you to think about if he hadn't missed the cut. Let's say he made the cut at +3 and ended up having a Patrick Cantlay type week where he ends up having a good weekend and comes in the top 20. Do you think he's going to be 2 or 3% owned at 8,400? I think we all know the answer is no. So we take advantage of a golfer just missing the cut on the number. We know that Simpson is still coming into getting healthy and such. So this is with an ear of caution, but at 3% owned to go 10% of a guy that used to be fantastic at golf, granted he's having a bad year, let's take that opportunity here. Look at his strokes gained. We see why he's bad. We know he's never going to gain that much off the tee. He doesn't hit it far, so he's ranked 106th. But it's the approaches, 151, and the putting, 104th, that have me a bit concerned here. But let's take a look at his stats here this week, see if he bounces back from a miscut on the number. Also was part of that bad wave of the bad weather. So we'll write all that off, give him another chance here. 8,400, 3% owned this week. Now, moving on to Tommy Fleetwood. He was +7, maybe a little bit further away from the cut than Webb Simpson, but it was the last few holes that really did him in. He was fighting for the cut line all the way down the back 9 and then came into some awful weather. So for Fleetwood, who hadn't missed a cut since the Honda Classic, I feel it's a great bounce back spot. His price is way too high because of his ownership last week. So we're going to get less than 5% of a guy that was playing great golf prior to running into a bad stretch on the back 9 last week and bad weather. So for Fleetwood, who's ranked 76th off the tee this year, 142 on the approach, 15 around the green, and 18 putting, I feel like this should be a great bounce back course for him. Did miss the cut last year, but at least got his foot underneath and now knows the course a little bit more. Now, lastly, Tony Finau. Here's another guy that was playing the best golf of his season coming into last week and totally blew the cut. Ended up missing again on the number like Simpson did at +4. Actually, excuse me, now that I think about it, Finau was at +5, ended up bogeying the last couple of holes to do that. But was in that same wave of golfers that had the worst conditions of them all. And for Finau, who, again, was playing some great golf, had 3 straight top 5s heading into the week, I think it's a good bounce back spot for him. Now, granted, he's missed the cut here the last couple of years. Maybe this will be a good spot to rid that bad play here at TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut. There we go. So for Finau, off the tee has been good this year, 16th, 28th on the approach, 73rd around the green, and 138th putting for a strokes gained rank. So those are going to be your top 5 sleepers here this week at the Travelers Championship, a big-time prize up top. Now, it's not the Millie Maker, still $250,000, I'm sure, is quite a bit to most people here watching. Now, if you haven't checked out Prize Picks, the sponsor of this short form video, now is the time to do so. You've got a $100 deposit bonus by using Stokastic as your promo code here. That'll get you, again, $100 on your first deposit. And if you haven't checked them out, they are a player props-based contest. There are no sharks. There are no optimizers, nothing like that you have to worry about. All you got to worry about is picking the right props. You pick a minimum of 2 to get 3 times your money and up to 5 to get 10 times your money. You also don't have to pick just PGA. You can pick any other sport. Let me give you an example of a prop here this week. Now, they'll have much more. This is Tuesday morning. As the day marches on, they'll have much more. But let's take birdies or better. That's their first round prop. The line is set at 4.5. And for a guy like, say, Rory McIlroy or Sam Burns, who are both playing well, I'd like to take the over on both of those. So let's say they both hit and you bet $20. You're going to win 48 on that number. So a different way, certainly, to invest. Check out Prize Picks for that. Okay, that's going to do it for me here this week on my top 5 sleepers. We've got the John Deere Classic next week, and then we move into Open Championship season again with the Open Championship not too far away. The Scottish Open will be first, and then the 4th and final major of the year will be after that in just 3 weeks' time. So until then, everybody, good luck this week at the Travelers Championship, and we will see you on the other side. Cheers.